welcome to my channel. My name is Esther and I'm the Danish Stitcher. If you're new here, welcome. I hope you like it here and that you will return again. If you already come here frequently, thank you very much for coming back. I really appreciate your support. First of all, I would like to make a little life update. First of all, Carsten has done his last radiation treatment, and the only side effect has been that he has been more tired, but it might as well be because of his medicine. So we don't know, and we also don't know what's going to happen from now on because we haven't heard more from the hospital. They started the treatment of his prostate cancer first because they wanted to kill that cancer, but he still got his cancer in the loin. I think he's going to have a scan in a month or so, so they can find out if they got rid of the prostate cancer or not. But as I said, we don't know yet. And on a happier note, if you follow me on Instagram, you already know that we got ourselves a new car. And I love that car. Well, the car is almost new. It's from 2021 and has run about 9,000 kilometers. But it looks new. It smells new. And it's the first time in my life that I got a car that's that new, because our old car we bought when it had run almost 60,000 kilometers. I, as you probably noticed, already put up the details if you want to know what kind of car it is. And as I said in the beginning, I'm so thrilled. I'm so happy about this car, and I'm looking forward to this summer. We are going on holiday to Hamburg, Germany, and we are going there by car. And I'm really looking forward to that. I love traveling by car. And it gives me a lot of stitching time. What's not to like? By the way, I keep forgetting saying this in every video, so this time I took some notes so I would remember to tell you. If you have any questions for me, please feel free to ask in the comments or write me an email. And I can promise that as long as it's stitching related questions, I will definitely answer them in the comments or in an email or in my next Flosstube. Other questions, that depends on my mood. As you know, I'm a very moody stitcher, and I'm actually pretty moody when it comes to most life decisions. So I cannot guarantee that I will answer questions that are not stitching related, but you can try, right? Projects. So now it's time for some stitching. From today, it will be a bit different the way I show my projects, because as you probably know, I do my videos in two languages, German as well as English, and that means that I spend the double amount of time editing the videos afterwards. And I would really like to reduce the editing time. And I think I can do that the easiest way out by not showing you all of my whips on camera. You will still see them, but as photos, because then I can show several whips in the time that I usually spend on showing you one or two. That's my hope anyway. I will still show you my fully finished and finished objects, and then I will show you probably between 5 or 7 of my whips that I have been working on. I mean, this time I think I worked on 13 or 14 projects, and I'm going to show you 6 of them, I think, here on camera, and the rest you will see as photos. Talking about stitching, I have, since my last Flosstube, stitched 17,356 stitches, and my challenge is now onto 118,005 stitches. I'm wondering if I will reach the 200,000 goal that I made now or not. And now I would like to show you my whips. First I will show you the photos and of the whips I worked the least on, and afterwards I will show you the other whips here. And now to the whips I'm going to show here on the camera. The first one is a patron pattern by the Witchy Stitcher. She joined Patreon here in this month of May, and I made a quick decision that I would like to support her because she's my favorite designer. The first, and I think she's going to make a free pattern every month for her patrons, or whatever you call us. Subscribers, whatever. I think it's subscribers. The first one is called Coven, Sweet Coven. It's shown, as you can see, on the dark fabric, but at the moment I'm really not fond of dark fabric, so I decided to choose this fabric instead. It's 18 count opalescent and it's hand dyed by me, and I use the call for DMC. And this piece of fabric actually changes quite a lot. You can see it also has some blue greenish nuances. This will not be that big, but then I still have a big piece for something else. I have stitched 1002 stitches on this one. The next whip is my spike portrait by Phillip B.A, also known as Phil the Cool Art on Instagram. It's an 18 count easy count and it has 100 colors, and I stitched 1148 stitches on it. And as you can see, this is not the way I usually stitch. Usually I do not park that much, but as I said, yeah, hopefully you don't get to sorry. Usually I do a lot of cross country, but I discovered that that would give me a lot of problems. You do know how I struggle to get Captain John Hart finished, and this one with 100 colors, and John Hart has 150 colors. There's so much confetti here in his, I don't know if you can see it, in his hair. Confetti, confetti. Everything in his face is confetti. But then I got the background where I have blocks of colors. And that's why I will really try to keep stitching it this way. But if I succeed, I do not know. Because all those threads, they are already annoying me. But we'll see. My next whip has absolutely zero confetti. It's the Temperature Houses by Jardin Privé. And it's up to date. Whoops. It's up to date. I think it's until the 24th of May. Or the 25th? No, the 25th. It's on a 16 count Ada, snow on grey, and I did 1413 stitches on it. I love it. This is definitely one of my favorite projects to work on. Even sometimes when I'm several weeks behind, it doesn't take that long to catch up. In my last video, I told you that my StarPattern, or whatever I called it, my StarPillow pattern, I had managed to get, not managed, it wasn't that difficult, I just needed to to take my time and draw the pattern and put it into Pattern Keeper. And therefore I started stitching on it again. And it's on 16 count 18 count, and I used the Missus Sedas silk oxide, and I did 2,870 stitches on it. And now it looks like this. It's pretty big, but it's a very good travel piece and meeting piece, because I do not need any patterns, because I know the pattern by heart, or if I forget it, I can just look up here and see, oh, this is how I'm supposed to stitch it. So, and I love this silk. It's absolutely gorgeous. I have no idea when I will finish with this one, and to be honest, I don't care, because it's very nice. If you saw my last video, you know that I decided to make some plans, and usually plans and me are very unmixy things. But anyway, I did decide to make some plans for May, because last year on Stitchmania, I started 28 Halloween projects. How on earth did I get that idea? Well, never mind. I have finished only 5, 6 or 7 of them or something. So my plan for May was that I would see if I could finish at least 3 of them. It's not going that well. So far I have 1 finish. You will see it when I show my finished projects. Because what I forgot when I made those plans was, okay, am I going to be in the mood to stitch Halloween in the month of May this year? Turns out I wasn't. Until the last couple of days. I mean, I think the reason why the first project, Halloween project, did finish was that it was one of my WIPGO goals. And I did finish my 3 WIPGO goals for May. But a couple of days ago, I suddenly thought, hey, I want to stitch on Halloween Town. Yeah, I really want to stitch on Halloween Town. And so I did. And it's by Madame Chantilly. It's on 16 count 8, hand dyed by me. I used the call for DMC, and I did 3,273 stitches. So as you can see, I really was in the mood for stitching on it. And I have finished all the houses. At the moment, I'm working down below or to the right under the spider's legs. And then I will move up, because I still need to do 2 more witches and a cat on a broom. I love this project, and I'm pretty certain that, because on my WIPGO board I have something called, I think I have 3 or 4 of them saying a Christmas project, and I also got this one en retard. And that's the same style, just with Christmas. We don't know the numbers for June yet. And I have decided I'm not allowed to stitch on this one. Sorry. It's going very well today. I'm not allowed to start this one before I'm done with this one. So let's see. Oh yeah, and I can see I also need 1 more of these acorns down here. The last project, my last whip, is also a new start. It's this SAL that I do with Marie from Stitches and Diamonds, called Stitch Beetles with Marie. I showed my fabric and floss the last time, so since my last video I have started it, and I did 3,632 stitches. I used DMC from Stash, so my colors are not the same as in the pattern. And it's on 16 count 8 called Musical Notes. And this is how far I am, and I love it. And this is also a project I can work on sitting on in meetings. Even though I need my pattern keeper, I can still focus on the meeting and my stitching, and that's very nice because I'm not always in the mood for stitching on the StarPillow, so this is a nice project. And it's coming out very nice, I think. Very nicely. Now to my finishes. I've got 2 finishes. One of them is Burn Butcher Burn, designed by me. It's on 20 count Ada, smoky blue. I used the silks Sienna by Missus Sedas. And to finish it, I had to stitch 632 stitches. And I love the result. I think it looks absolutely gorgeous with this variegated floss. In case you do not know what Burn Butcher Burn is, it's a song by Jaske of the TV series, Netflix TV series called The Witcher, which is one of my favorite TV shows. And I love that song. The last finish is Black Cats from Just CrossStitch, October 2016. It looks like this. It's on 16 count Ada, hand dyed by me. I do not use the call for colors. Some of them are the call for, but definitely not all of them, because I use DMC, Classic Colorworks, and Missus Sedas silk. And in order to finish this one, I stitched 677 stitches. And the whip goal was 500 stitches on a Halloween project. And when I could see that I missed less than 200 stitches, I decided, even though I didn't want to stitch it, that I had to pull myself together and finish this. And I'm so happy I did. So that were my projects for this time. I already told you about how my plans for May worked out, or didn't work out. Okay, we still got some days left, so maybe I can finish the Halloween town, but I'm not sure that's going to happen because tomorrow something great is happening, which I will talk about in a few seconds. So anyway, I did complete my 3 WIPGO goals for the month of May, and I'm very anxious to see, not anxious, I'm looking forward to hearing the numbers for June. And speaking about June, if you follow me on Instagram, you already know that I'm a bit crazy because as of June, I'm going to participate in two more SALs. I think to recall that in one of my first videos of this year, I said that I do not want to participate in many SALs because I'm a moody stitcher. Now I'm participating in 4 SALs as from the 1st of June. Anyway, the first one I have signed up for is the Witchy Stitcher's Supernatural SAL. Of course, I have to participate in that one because that's also going to be a vampire. And vampire is my favorite monster, I think you could say. By the way, you might have noticed that my camera stands in a little different spot this time. I thought it could be fun if you could see some of the wall over there with other stuff on as well. And there's not much more, as you can see. But eventually I will have a lot of stuff there. The Witcher, for example. Well, coming back to Supernatural SAL, she recommends a fabric in light colors. Mine is in light colors, but not that light. She recommends the same kind of fabric she recommended for Cryptid. I didn't participate in Cryptid. I will probably not stitch Cryptid, but I know a lot of you did. But I decided on this fabric. It's 18 count. It's not opalescent. It's called Lurex. What is it? Lurex Argento. but it got sparkles in it. If you haven't noticed yet, I love sparkly fabric. And I did, with the help of people on Instagram, I did some floss toss because I really couldn't decide. But I decided on this one, and I think it's going to look all right. I hope this will work. I think it looks, it's not showing the color of the fabric correctly, but I think it looks all right. And I'm really looking forward to starting it. The other SAL I signed up for, that's a free SAL. It's by Stitched Up by Lauren, and you can read more about it on her Instagram. I will write it down in the notes, in the description box. This one will start tomorrow. I think tomorrow you will get the frame as well as which colors you should use. And then you have a month to gather the fabric and the colors and to stitch the frame. I have so much fabric that I'm positive that I already have what I need. I just need to pick it. So now it's time for Hi and welcome to Curator's Corner. This time I got some stuff to show you, but not as much as I would usually have, because as I said in the beginning of this video, we bought a new car. But I still got stuff, because the stuff I'm going to show you all is bought before. All is purchased before we bought the car. First of all, DMC. I want to have a full set of all DMC colors at any time, and because I stitch quite a lot, I need to stock up quite often on my DMC. I bought some thimble pads, because when you stitch as much as I do, especially when you use the needle 28, you tend to go through your skin into the finger, and it hurts a lot. And sometimes it even starts bleeding. So I use quite a lot of these. That's the only thimbles I can use while stitching. I have tried silicones and metal thimbles, even porcelain, and no, I cannot use them. Maybe because I stitch in hand, I don't know. But anyway, I can use these. They are still a little annoying, but it works out. On a day where I stitch about between 1,000 and 1,500 stitches, one of these will last that day, and that's it. And then it's done. And therefore I have to keep buying these. But it's okay. In my last video, I complained a bit that it wasn't possible for me to find the Cone of Doom. I found it. Casa Chinina. Finally, they must have heard my prayer, because all of a sudden, when I went to Casa Chinina to buy the DMC and some fabric, I will show you in a moment, I noticed they got the 310, or the Cone of Doom, as the Witchy Stitcher calls it. And of course I had to buy one. Actually, I had to buy two, because this one is going to be used for the Supernatural SAL, and the other one is just nice to have, because I do not know if Casa Chinina will keep on having it in stock. So I thought better safe than sorry, and that's why I bought two. Mentioning fabric, this is a present from Casa Chinina. I think it's 14 count. Light blue Aida. And then I bought 1 meter of opalescent 18 count Aida. And you might think, come on Esther, do you need more fabric? No, I don't need more fabric. And yes, I do need more fabric because at the moment I'm designing a new pattern. I still don't know how big it's going to be, but it's not going to be a small pattern. And I think I'm going to stitch it with one of my variegated Missus Sedas silks. And therefore I think I need a big piece of white opalescent fabric to stitch on. I do, however, consider coloring it a bit, dyeing it a bit, because I do like to dye my fabric. But so far I just have it like this until I'm finished designing, and it might take a month or two or more before I'm finished designing it, because I do not design on it every day. That was Casa Chenina. Then, as you saw, I have been doing one tiny stitching, the Water Lilies by Monet. And I'm really fascinated by this tiny stitching, but I did try to stitch 1/1 and 25 count even weave. I can't. The thread keeps disappearing no matter where I start. Whether I start where the thread goes below or it goes over, it doesn't matter. The thread keeps disappearing from me, and it annoys me like I don't know what. But I have watched videos and tried again. I have seen drawings of it and looked at them, and when I try, where did my thread go? So now I've given up for now. And then I noticed that Hardanger fabric is supposed to be about 22 count. So I started searching for Hardanger. Casa Chenina's Hardanger was sold out or out of stock, or they didn't know whether it would return or not. And actually, I managed to find it here in Denmark. Only problem was I had to buy at least 1 meter. It looks awfully much like even weave, so I'm afraid that I can only use this if I stitch 2/1, and goodbye to tiny stitches then. Anyway, I think I'm going to dye it anyway, because I'm not that fond of white fabric, as you probably have noticed. Then I also found something called Permilla. I think, yeah, Permilla. It looks a lot like Ada. I don't know if you can see it, yeah, there. It looks a lot like Ada. I think it's a bit tinier than Ada 20 count. So maybe this is 21 or 22. It says 10 threads. I don't know if that's 10 threads per whatever, centimeter, inch, or whatever. Probably not inch. But this I will probably be able to stitch 1/1. I will be able to stitch 1/1 because it looks exactly like Ada. The last thing I bought. Colors. Because, yeah, why not? Acid colors. I've never worked with acid colors before. But it's very hard to get the colors I want here in Denmark. I mean, the normal colors I can easily get, but I would like some, what you call it, neon colors, fluorescent colors, or whatever, however you pronounce it. And then I noticed this little shop where I also bought what I'm going to dye, because I'm going to use this for fabric, but I'm also going to use it for something else. And some of you might already have guessed, but I'll come back to that in a moment. So the colors I bought was Saffron Spice and Safety Orange, which should be like neon colors. True Turquoise. and royal purple, chocolate brown, radioactive yellow green, teal green, and Kelly green. And maybe some of you have already guessed, so what is Esther going to dye now? This is undyed silks, because of course I have to try and dye silks. And the Danish shop where I got these, they sell yarn and threads for dyeing, as well as these acid colors. I'm also going to try to use some of my normal colors for these threads. I have seen some videos on hand dyeing floss, and they just use red dye. But I cannot get hold of the red dye colors I would like to, and that's why I had to look somewhere else for other kind of colors. And this might not look as much, but I think I bought 20 or 30, I don't remember, and I'm not going to count them now. It might be a while before I start dyeing them. I think I'm going to wait till I got my summer holidays, which I will have in July. And that was all from my Curator's Corner for this time. Bye. Hi and welcome back, and we are now very close to the end of this video. And before I go, I would like to thank these channels: Nightmare Before Christmas, Stitchilonka, Animal Instinct, Stitches and Diamonds, Stitch, The Violet Stitcher, Christie's Corner, and Stitch by Liz, because they have all mentioned me or given me a shout out or talked about me because I gave them a shout out. And it never ceases to amaze me what kind of warm fuzzy feeling I get inside when people talk about my channel, because I'm not that used to it. So thank you so very much. It also means that I now have more than 600 subscribers, and that's so amazing. Words cannot describe how that makes me feel. So thank you very much for your support. And with these words, I'm going to leave you, and I'm going to start editing, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how long my videos are going to be now. And I hope I'll see you the next time. Take care. Bye.